Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are now joined by Jaime Breeze, our animal communicator. She's a medium, she's a psychic, she's an amazing woman, and she's here with her energy to share, of course, how she can help you connect to those loved ones in the past, those animals that may have passed on, and so much more. Jaime, welcome back. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back, Jill.
Well, thanks for being here. Would you mind giving yourself the proper introduction? I can only do so much.
Yeah, no worries. Hi, everyone. I'm Jaime Breeze. I live in Jasper National Park in Alberta. I'm a spiritual medium, animal communicator, and a psychic. I communicate with animals both in the physical world and on the other side. So if you're looking to connect, if your animal has physical issues, behavioral issues, emotional stresses, look me up, give me a call. My website is jaimebreeze.com, JAIMEBREEZE. And I can be found also on Instagram at The Mountain Medium.
Perfect. Well, it's a pleasure having you back here. We've had some great conversations in the past. What did you have in store for us today?
Well, I have a fun little conversation to talk about today. I love animals and when they see spirits around them. So I have some examples today for everyone. And yeah, I'd like to start there. Jill, do you have animals now, or did you have them growing up as a kid?
Well, I have Cuddles, my little boy, who's a bundle of joy, who I still haven't picked up right now. He's still over at the vet because we did get home 2 days ago. But he is like this amazing, he's just a tabby cat. So affectionate, so loving. It's just, he's like a human. It is bizarre. Then I had Princess, who passed away 4 years ago, my little Persian. And then I have Precious Pumpkin from 18 years ago, who is my love and soul. I have a Cuddles. And it's so funny because I've never thought until I started talking to you that you can communicate with them. I know people see psychics and mediums to talk about their brothers, their sisters, their parents, and their grandparents who passed, but I never realized that you can communicate with an animal. So this is, yeah. Oh my God. Animal bonds are amazing, but I didn't realize that they, and all these years I haven't been in touch with Pumpkin or Princess. So I never thought about
it. Yeah, it's incredible. And our animals are so psychic. And whether that some people, wonder why and how, like for today, like talking about animals who see ghosts, I'm going to say the word ghost. Over 50% of Americans believe in ghosts, but during this work, animals see spirit. So whether it is a ghost, like if your house is haunted, or they're seeing grandma who passed over, or angels on the other side. Have you ever noticed cats like just all of a sudden darting their eyes around the room, or
yes,
at something that we can't see? It's kind of freaky, right?
Oh my gosh.
When I was growing up, my cat would always dart her eyes around the room, and I could just feel a presence in my space. And it was weird because I grew up in a very haunted house, and it was stressful most of the time. But my mom told me, she said, your cat, her name was Kit Kat, is looking at the angels all around you. So that helps me calm down a little bit. So prefer my cat to sleep under my blankets because she would just dart her eyes everywhere and it would kind of freak me out. That being said, don't be scared if that's happening, because it's probably a loved one of yours who is just crossed over or coming to pay a visit. Our loved ones in spirit, whether they're human or animal, are always around us. And there's been a study done in the UK saying that 25% of dog owners have witnessed their dog growling into thin air, and 25% of cat owners have witnessed their cats hissing or swatting at that we don't see. So it's pretty incredible. And why this happens, there's probably a few. For one, our animals aren't culturally conditioned to be afraid or your imagination. Like we have learned growing up as kids, our parents probably have told us that so we would go to sleep. And not keep them up all night. Animals are also not afraid of the other side. I always say when I'm communicating with an animal, I feel like they honestly have one paw in this life and one paw on the other side at all times. They're so spiritually connected to the other side. So why would they be afraid?
Yeah.
It's normal for them. But also, as we all know, our animals have such heightened senses, whether it's
Hmm.
smell, sights, they're conditioned to see in the dark. Cats feel with their whiskers, so they feel the energy changes in the room. But again, all animals are psychic, which now, Jill, you just said
Yeah.
you're learning this and being able to communicate with your pets. So it's a really cool aspect when you start watching how our animals interact while they're just like going about their day. Did you ever see the movie with Patrick Swayze, Ghost?
Oda Mae Brown with the check. But yes, yes,
Do you remember the scene where the bad guy comes into her apartment and the cat's sitting there, and then Patrick Swayze
yes.
screams in the cat's face and to
Hmm.
that the bad guy's in there? Yeah, so it's exactly like that. So spirit can like show themselves and get our animals to say, "Hey, mom," or like, "Dad, there's a spirit in the
Yeah,
house." Too. So I think that's really cool. Kind of creepy in a way if you're just sitting there by yourself, where it's like
true.
3 in the morning and your cat's acting weird. It's just like, okay, uh, go to sleep. Don't do this now, please. But after communicating with a lot of animals, I'm learning more and more how present spirit is in their day-to-day lives. Like it's just such a natural thing that we don't even notice sometimes. So last week I was communicating with this dog named Daisy, and she was still in the physical, and her parents just wanted to connect for fun and see how Daisy was feeling. And then at the end of the session, was like, you know what? I feel like there's a ghost in our house. And instantly, Daisy showed me this man who sits on the floor in their living room. And I asked the woman, I said, "Is it in the living room by the fireplace?" And she said, "Yes." And Daisy showed me this man dressed in like 1940s, 50s kind of attire with this rounded hat. And she said, "Okay, that's interesting because I do feel a man's spirit." And a few weeks prior, this woman came knocking on the door and asked if she could come and see the house because she grew up there as a child. And her father actually died in the house by the fireplace. So his spirit was still kind of impressing on the house, which is interesting because when we transition, yes, we go to the other side, but our energy can still stay where our hearts are in a way. So Daisy, her dog, was seeing this girl's father who had transitioned to the other side, and his energy was coming through so strong that Daisy wanted to continue and let us know more details about this gentleman. And Daisy was showing me that his hands were covered in grease, which led me to think, okay, so he probably worked with
Yeah,
automobiles
yeah.
or
Hmm.
along that line. And my client confirmed, she's like, when we bought this house, the whole garage was covered in grease. And it's a big like acreage they live on. And Daisy's father, he said that when they go like looking through the forest and stuff, they find old pieces of automobiles and everything.
Wow.
I thought that was really cool that Daisy was bringing this forward. And also Daisy mentioned that he smoked a pipe. And my clients were like, yeah, we always smell smoke in the living room. And then, so now when we're getting the energy built, this gentleman who has transitioned, his energy is becoming stronger. So now he's wanting to talk and he's giving so much more information about his life and his hobbies and what he liked, disliked. And then he showed me this coin and I couldn't understand it. And I was like, there's something to do with a coin. And my clients told me they found this coin from 1925 in the backyard,
Wow.
this gentleman's. So anyway, that was a really cool story of one of my recent clients seen spirits in the house. And now this guy, he's not there to like scare anyone or haunt them, but his heart is still there. And his daughter's still in the physical, so perhaps once she transitions, he'll fully transition as well too.
Wow. Wow. This is amazing. And I'm gonna find a coin. Where is there even coins that exist from 1925? Like, could there be any more of a sign, like a real sign?
Right, so like I've never seen a coin that old.
No, neither have I.
And the same along this coins, the same clients of mine, when we were on this topic, he also showed me his hand being held up and like dropping coins as well. And Daisy's mom was like, you know what, there's coins that have dropped out of thin air in my room sometimes. But the crazy thing is, so they're in Canada. The crazy thing is about this, those coins are British pence. So where are the British pence coming from? So I asked her what her heritage was, and she's like, "Oh, all my relatives are from Britain." I'm like, "Well, there you go." This gentleman's spirit was saying, "Hey, your British ancestors are dropping you pences or pence to let them know that, or to let you know that they're all around you. Your loved ones are all
Wow.
people too." Like
Wow.
British coins, like how are those appearing in her room? So that was pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. Wow. All these signs, but not everybody pays attention to this, And if we don't know Jamie Breeze or the connection, the power of this, how do we know? Well, we got to contact you. By the way, how do we contact you, Jamie? I don't think we mentioned off the top.
JamieBreeze.com is my website. So it's Jaimebreeze.com, and on Instagram at The Mountain Medium.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And so if someone wants to connect, I mean, it's as simple as giving you a call, as simple as, do you need a picture? What do you need from someone in order to start the process?
When I'm communicating with animals, whether they are in the physical or on the other side, I do enjoy having a photo in front of me of that animal. When I connect with the photo, it just brings out so much life for me in those animals' eyes. I instantly get a download of their personalities, their likes, their dislikes, really their core essence of who the animal is or were. And once I connect, the animal is just like on fire, just wanting to chat and talk. However, if I am communicating, sorry, my dog's gonna come up and like,
Okay.
when I'm communicating with your loved ones on the other side, though, I don't require a picture. So it's really strange how that works.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do have another story about animals seeing spirits. I was connecting with this dog in Hawaii last month, and this dog is still in the physical, but her family contacted me because she's a senior dog and they wanted to make sure she's healthy and okay and everything. And her mom was like, I think my dog's going senile though. She just like runs around and barks at nothing. And I didn't feel the dog was feeling like that. So I connected in. Her name's Akiko. And she instantly showed me, she's like, no, there's spirits all in this house. And so I said to my client, I'm like, do you feel that your house is haunted? Because I'm seeing like a lot of spirits
Activity. Yeah.
through your room. She's like, oh, no. Yeah, we do have a lot of spirits in our house, but they're not really staying here. They're walking through. And I'm like, okay, so you are aware of this? And she's like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just up the hill here are these ancient healing waters that the ancient Hawaiians would walk to be healed. And our house, our whole neighborhood has actually been built on this pathway per se to where all these ancient Hawaiian cultures walked to get healed. So again, the land was just so impressed with so many energies and
Wow.
emotion from the past that these spirits are still, you can still sense them walking. And I'm like, so your dog is not going to see now. She's just like watching hundreds of spirits walking to this ancient Hawaiian healing place. And my client started laughing. She's like, we're the lucky house on the street because the spirits here, they just walk through the living room, through the other side. Whereas every week there are cops at some of the other houses because people call 911 because there's so much spirit activity. People think there's like people robbing their.
Oh my gosh. And she was not aware that her dog is picking up on this?
No, like, oh yeah, that makes sense though. We see the spirits all the time. But I just thought that was so funny that every week there's a cop in the neighbor's house investigating ghosts. So I always have to laugh at that one. But so that's another example. If you live on like a sacred land or near a place with healing waters and stuff, that might be happening too. Especially, I know a lot of places in Arizona have sacred walking sites and heritage sites and stuff that I've talked to a lot of clients where this happens with them as well. So yeah, don't be scared if that's happening in your house or your neighborhood.
Wow. That is awesome that the animals can pick up on this. And like, is there any other thing that you felt from her dog? Was he also, what else did he want to say to the owners? Like, I'm okay. I like watching spirits. Are they nice? Are they friendly? What else does he like sense?
Well, it was funny because the dog didn't really care too much about the spirits.
Okay.
Like, yeah, he's like, well, we've always lived with this. So that's not a big deal to me. But it was funny because on a completely other note, this dog really wanted to mention her mom's handbags and purses.
What?
So it's funny how our animals have same likes and dislikes we do. So I asked her mom, I said, do you own a lot of handbags and purses? And her daughter and husband just kind of rolled their eyes. She's like, yes, I have a whole closet of handbags. And this dog, because this dog is so connected to mom, like they're best.
So
She's into the purses too. So each day the mom goes into the closet and picks out which one's going to match her outfit. The dog comes and she kind of has her opinion as well. So the dog was more inclined to focus on the handbags and purses than these ancient Hawaiian spirits going to the healing waters. So I thought that was so cute.
that is adorable. Mom, I like your Coach bag. Mom, choose the pink one today. Mom, that is amazing.
Yes, it's so funny. I love how our animals, they're just like us. They're just like, yeah.
No, has there ever been a time where you can't connect to an animal? I mean, some people, how does that work? Or does it happen maybe at a different time, not when the owner, contacts you to.
I've never had that happen. Our
Mhm.
animals are always so excited to speak. And I always ask permission. I've never had a no. Hopefully that never happens. The only time I had a difficult animal reading was when this cat I was working with a couple months ago was just really sick.
Okay.
She came through and then she kind of showed me her hiding under her parents' bed.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, a day or two later, the cat did transition, but she was just really sick and just couldn't really, she wasn't up for it.
Yeah.
She like, I'm not feeling great. So that was the only time. But other than that, yeah, our animals are so excited to speak with us.
Oh my goodness. Wow, I'm loving this. And besides animals, though, you also communicate with humans too. So you have real vast knowledge. I mean, usually you have a specialty, but no, I mean, how does that work for you? So people can also contact you to kind of contact their loved ones who've been lost as well.
Yeah, exactly. So when I connect on a mediumship level, I raise my vibration and your loved one on the side lowers theirs. And that's actually where the word medium comes from, is we meet in the middle. So I state my intention, and energy is everywhere and spirit is everywhere. So they're not going to ignore us. They're always going to come forward. So you just have to kind of be open to that. And that's the hardest part, is just trusting and allowing. So if you're in front of me or over a Zoom or even a phone call, the energy is already starting to flow.
Got it.
So grandma or dad, for example, are like, okay, there's my daughter needs to communicate with us today. So they are aware. It's like turning on a light switch, and spirit's like, okay, we're doing this, we're doing it right now. So again, it's just raising the vibration.
Got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And what other stories do you want to share, Jaime? These are awesome.
So I have another one about our animals seeing spirit animals.
Okay.
Connecting with this dog on the other side. His mom wanted to connect, as she missed him very dearly. And right before Christmas, I was connecting with this dog, and she has two other dogs who are still in the physical here. And all of a sudden, her dog on the other side was like, they see me. So I asked her, I was like, do you see your two dogs staring into the kitchen corner where the dog dishes are? And she's like, yeah, they just started doing this a couple weeks ago. And so her dog on the other side told me that this is kind of his favorite time of the year, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, because they always got like the turkey leftovers and mashed potatoes and all
treated to the extras. Yep.
Dog and spirit kind of wanted to sit by the animal's dishes to kind of remind her, hey, I'm here. I'm waiting for those turkey treats that you always gave me. So it was kind of beautiful in a way, because our animals on the other side are still the same. He wanted to be like, Mom, I'm still here. I just, I want those scraps, and this is my favorite time of year, and the other two dogs can see me.
Wow. Have you ever been able to help like a medical ailment? Like, if, the pet saying, there's something wrong. I maybe with my arm, my leg, Mom, check it out. And then like, wow, oh my gosh, the dog has cancer. Or is that, have you helped intervene in a sense in that way? Because that's, wow.
There's always medical things happening. The most recent, I just got a text from a client a couple of days ago. I did a reading for her animal who was sick from the major cold snap we had all across Canada. He got hypothermia. And while I was connecting with the animal, and he was telling me about his kidneys were weakened, and the vet confirmed that day as well. He also said, well, I have a parasite too, just so you know. And 2 weeks later, I get a text from her owner saying, oh, the vet just found the parasite that my animal mentioned. So it took 2 weeks for a vet to find and diagnose, and not saying they did anything wrong, because it's just how it does. But the animal knows right away, because they're so in tuned to their bodies and they know so much. So if only we just started listening sooner, a lot of ailments, I think, could be fixed for our animals.
But not a lot of us can tap in. Or are you trying to say that we all have that ability? We just don't know how to do it.
We're all sick. It's the oldest form of communication on this planet. When we are taught to speak as children, we start to lose this process, but it's just exercising that part of your brain. Everyone can communicate with their animal. So that's one of my missions, is to remind people of that, so they can give their animal the best life possible and hear what our animals have to say.
Wow, this is fascinating work. And, all it takes is just a phone call to reach out to you, go on the website or check you out on Instagram. And how long does it take, to communicate with an animal? Does it sometimes work? Like, didn't you tell me a story one time you were on a plane?
Yes.
Right. And then it came to you like days later or weeks later. It all depends, right?
Yeah. Sometimes the animal, once client books with me, their animal is like triggered. Okay, mom booked an animal communication session. So sometimes the animal will come to me beforehand. There's been many times, like you said, on the airplane, all of a sudden this cat was in my vision kind of saying, no, let's communicate right now. Sometimes they'll come at night. I've had human spirits come at night, knowing that their loved one was going to connect with me later that week. So there's been times where I'll go into a session and know who we're connecting with, whether it's dad or dog or cat on the other side. But Jill, I challenge you today, when you have time, connect with your cat, one of them, see what happens.
Well, I feel bad. He's still at the vet right now, and he's
Well,
probably crying for me to pick him up. You know,
okay,
it's been 10 days.
before you go pick him up, send him a message, say, I'm coming today, and see if there's a different kind of reunion to
Okay.
have today.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
and it's connect with him like you would speak to a 5-year-old. Mommy had to go away. I love you. We're going home today. You're going to get extra cookies. And
Like, I wonder if there's trauma though. 'Cause I'll be honest with you, because 4 years ago, my friend is a vet, so I'm very thankful. My mom and I, before she died of cancer, we went on a trip to Arizona. I left Princess, the Persian, Cuddles, the tabby, at this place. And he's so mean to everyone, which is amazing. It's so funny because he just likes me. Well, not just me, but he's scared to be there. And then unfortunately, my cat passed when they were there. It's 2 separate cages. So now he goes back there if my mommy goes away. But I wonder if that also, if he feels the sense of he lost his friend there too, like, and that also bothers him, All right.
yeah, definitely. And it could be a trigger of like, oh no, is this going to happen to me too? So I would recondition his thought by just saying, this is a place we go, so you're safe while mom has to go away. You're going to come home, just reassuring them that they're not going to be left there.
Got it. All right, good. I will. I'll send some connecting thoughts today when I go get him, because the truth is I work until 4. But I may not be able to pick him up until tomorrow, depending on, I think they close at 5, but we'll see. So he must be really lonely. Am I a bad mom? Are you trying to tell me he's coming through and saying, get me now?
So if you can't pick him up tomorrow, just let him know. Say, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
And another easy way to do it is just send him pink energy from your heart. Just picture
Perfect.
him.
My shirt pink. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you for being here today, enlightening us. And if we want to reach out to you, would you mind reminding us the best forms of contact?
Website is jamiebreeze.com, JAIMEBREEZE.com, and my Instagram at The Mountain Medium.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for being here again. It's always a pleasure to have you. And I'm going to reach out to Cuddles very shortly. Thank you again.
Have a good day, Jill.
You too, sweetheart. Everyone else the same. Stay tuned. More of the show is on the way. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.